Breaking: Anthony Gordon just played 69 minutes in England's 5-0 demolition of Serbia. But the national media can't agree if he was brilliant or invisible. The truth? It's way more complicated than anyone's reporting. And what this means for Newcastle could be massive. What's up, Toon Army? This is NUFC Quick News, your source for raw black and white passion. While everyone's talking about England's hammering of Serbia, I'm here to tell you the real story about our Anthony Gordon that the mainstream media is getting completely wrong. Let's get into it. So here's what actually happened in Belgrade last night. Thomas Tukul starts two of our lads, Gordon and Tino Livramento, in what was supposed to be Gordon's redemption arc after that red card against Liverpool. England absolutely destroyed Serbia 5-0, but somehow our Anthony is the one getting mixed reviews. Let me break this down for you properly, because the narrative being pushed is absolute madness. What do you think? Is the media being unfair to Gordon? Or are Newcastle fans just being biased? Drop your thoughts below. The Mirror gave him 7/7 out 10, calling it a good display with pace, zip, and threat. But then the Express slaps him with a 6 and calls him quiet. The Telegraph? Another 6? The Metro? You guessed it, another bloody 6. Here's what they're not telling you though. Gordon had 3 shots on target. 3! In a game where he was creating chances, pressing high, and actually set up England's 3rd goal through Ezri Konsa. But because he didn't score, suddenly he's the quietest forward? This is exactly the kind of agenda-driven journalism that Newcastle fans know all too well, isn't it? And here's where it gets interesting. The Express actually revealed something massive in their criticism. They wrote, he'll be one of those looking over his shoulder, given the quality of players currently absent from the squad. Think about that for a second. Absent players. We're talking about Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, absolute top-tier wingers who weren't even in this squad. Yet Gordon still got the start over Marcus Rashford, still played 69 minutes in a 5-0 win, still created genuine chances. But here's the question that should terrify every Newcastle fan. What happens when those big names come back? Let's talk about what Gordon actually did on that pitch. He was deployed on the left of England's front 3 alongside Harry Kane and Noni Madueke. While Kane and Madueke found the net, Gordon was the creator, the catalyst, the one making space for others. His shot that led to Konsa's goal. Pure instinct, pure Newcastle DNA, taking the initiative when others might have passed it sideways. That's not quiet. That's intelligent football. And can we talk about the elephant in the room? This was Gordon's first start since that red card against Liverpool on August 25th. 3 weeks out of action, no match rhythm. Yet Tukul trusted him enough to start him in a crucial World Cup qualifier against Serbia. That tells you everything about where Gordon sits in the England pecking order right now. The booking? Yeah, he picked up a yellow. But you know what? That's passion. That's commitment. That's exactly what we want to see from our players wearing the England shirt, representing Newcastle United values on the international stage. Here's where things get really interesting for us Newcastle fans though. Gordon can't play against Wolves on Saturday because he's still serving that domestic suspension. But, and this is huge, he's available for Barcelona in the Champions League next Thursday. Think about that timeline. He goes from creating chances for England in Belgrade to potentially facing one of the world's biggest clubs at St. James Park. That's the level our Anthony is off operating at now. Do you think Eddie Howe will start him against Barca after this? England performance? The confidence boost alone could be massive, but let's address the real concern here. The Express mentioned quality players absent from the squad and Gordon looking over his shoulder. They're not wrong. When Saka's fit, when Foden's available, when Palmer's in form, where does that leave our winger? Here's my take, and this might be controversial. Gordon's England future isn't about competing with those players. It's about proving he offers something different, something those technical players don't have. Pace, directness, work rate, the ability to track back and defend. Newcastle-style intensity that Tukul clearly values. And here's why last night was actually perfect for Gordon. Even without a goal, he played 69 minutes in a 5-0 win. He created chances, he set up a goal, he showed he can perform at international level against quality opposition. Serbia aren't mugs, they're a proper team with Premier League players throughout their squad. The media can call him quiet all they want, but Tukul kept him on the pitch for over an hour in a game that was effectively won by halftime. That's trust. That's belief in what Gordon brings to this England team. What does this mean for Newcastle though? First, it means we've got an England international winger who's clearly in Tukul's plans. That's massive for our profile, our attractiveness to other players, our commercial value. Second, it means Gordon's confidence will be sky high going into that Barcelona game. Playing at international level, creating chances, being part of a 5-0 win, that does things to a player's mentality. Third, and this might be the most important point, it proves Eddie Howe was right to build a team around Gordon. The faith shown in giving him that number 10 shirt is being justified on the biggest stage. But here's my question for the Toon Army. Are we setting our expectations too high? Gordon's 24 years old. He's still developing. He's gone from championship player to Premier League regular to England starter in the space of 3 years. Maybe quiet performances that still contribute to 5-0 wins are exactly what we should expect right now. The pressure on him must be immense. Newcastle fans expecting magic every week. England fans comparing him to Saka and Foden. Media waiting for any excuse to drop him from the narrative, yet he keeps delivering when it matters most. Remember, this is the same player who scored crucial goals for us last season. Who created chances in big games? Who tracks back and defends like his life depends on it? Those qualities don't disappear because he didn't score for England. And let's be honest about something else. The English media have never been kind to Newcastle players. They've always found reasons to criticize, to diminish, to suggest our players aren't quite good enough for the top level. Sound familiar? It should, because we've been dealing with this bias for decades. But here's what they can't argue with: results. Gordon started for England. England won 5-0. Gordon contributed. Job done. The fact that some journalists gave him 6-10 says more about their agenda than his performance. When you're looking for reasons to criticize, you'll always find them. So here's what I think Newcastle fans should take from last night. Our Anthony Gordon is an established England international. He's trusted by one of the world's best managers. He performs in big games against quality opposition. And most importantly, he's still only 24 with his best years ahead of him. The mixed media reviews? Forget about him. Focus on what matters. Gordon is representing Newcastle United on the international stage with pride, passion, and genuine quality. And when he's back from suspension, when he's facing Barcelona under the lights at St. James, Park, remember this moment. Remember that he went to Belgrade and contributed to a 5-0 win for England. Remember that he created chances, set up goals, and showed exactly why Eddie Howe made him our number 10. The media can keep their 6-10 ratings. We'll keep our Anthony Gordon, and we'll keep believing in what he brings to this football club. Final question for the Toon Army: how do you rate Gordon's England performance? And what are your expectations for the Barcelona game? Because from where I'm sitting, having an England regular who's ready to face the best teams in Europe is exactly what this club needs right now. Smash that like button if you think the media are being unfair to Gordon, and drop your thoughts below. I'll be reading every Toon Army comment. Are you excited to see him back in black and white against Barcelona? Until next time, stay proud, stay loud, and always keep the faith. Away the lads! The lads!